welcome back to my channel. So again, welcome to the John Dia TV vlog. So in this video, we will discuss about the first topic of our subject, the professional conduct and ethical standards. So this is all about the chapter 1, which is the ethics and values. So we will discuss it in detail. But before we proceed, uh, if you are new in this channel, please click to subscribe as a support, and also help hit the notification bell for you to be updated in our upcoming videos. So, okay, without further ado, let's start. So let's start with the definition of ethics. So ethics is a branch of philosophy which studies the principles of right or wrong in human conduct. So when we say ethics, it is a study of behavior, or we are looking for a behavior of someone or a certain person, if it is right or wrong, or it is moral or immoral. If it is a certain action, let's say it is bad or wrong. So that is the study of ethics. Then the term ethics originated from the Latin word ethos, which means customary, behavior, and moral. So ethics is basically maybe affected, according to the different customs and behavior of a person, especially the moral. And let's proceed to the importance of ethics. So ethics is considered as indispensable. Why nganong ang ethics is gitawag man siya indispensable? It is because indispensable in a sense nga dili na jud na siya pwede nga wad-on or kuhaon sa ato ang community or sa atong society. We cannot really remove the concept of ethics in our society. So because without ethics, walay mo guide sa atua to do certain things which is good and not bad. So because without moral perception, man is no different from animal. So if you cannot perceive what is right and good, you are considered as an animal. There is no difference between to you and to the animal if you cannot determine of what is right and wrong. And without moral, man is a failure as a human being. So if you are a man, kung sa kakatao, dapat you should have the morality. You should know how to live in a good way. Kung dili ka maumubuhat og unsay sakto according to the standards of the society, kung wala ka kabalaw unsay saktong buhaton, so you are considered as failure as a human being. So kung you are a man, kung tao ka, dapat mubuhat ka kung unsay sakto isip sa katao, because without doing it, you are considered as not a human. You're considered as an animal. You are no different from animal. Then next, morality. So morality is the foundation of every human society. So without civic morality, community perish and survival has no value. So in our society, without the morality, no, the community will perish and survival has no value. Because no, kung walay morality in our society, unsay may tabo, no, there will be a gubot, no, chaos, walay order, no, because everybody is doing certain actions that dili siya maayo, no. But if you have the morality, you will always do your best to do what is right and good, not bad, or not what is immoral. Now, without the concept of morality, no, survival has no value, because kung walay morality, agubot kayo ang ato ang society. So wala, dili ta mo follow o unsay mga rules and regulations according to the standards of the society. Then all cultures admit the importance of morality as a standard behavior. When the moral foundations of nations are threatened, the society itself is threatened. So morality is important. It's because no, that is one of the foundation, no, of all nations. Because without morality, as I mentioned a while ago, our society will become chaos, no? Magubot siya kung wala ay morality. Then if a nation is threatened or threatened, the society itself will also threaten. So that's the significance of morality. Then next we have the ethics versus law. So what are the difference between ethics and law? So ethics is more concerned on morality, so while law are more on practicality. Morality has a wider implication than law. Law can be either be moral or immoral. So ang law, pwede na siya mahimong moral, pwede po siya immoral. Thus, what is legal is not necessarily moral, but what is moral is worth legalizing. So, ang legal, dili na siya necessary nga moral, because there are laws or there are legal action nga we could say that's immoral act, but what is moral is worth legalizing. So kung unsay moral, dapat it should be legal, but not all legal action are not necessarily moral. That's the difference between ethics and law. Law is more on practicality, while ethics is more on concern on morality. So next we have the conflict between moral and legal action. So example, so prostitution. Let's say prostitution in our country, in the Philippines, no, prostitution is not a crime, and that is an immoral act, no, prostitution. But in the Philippines, there are no specific crime to punish those who are prostitute. No, let's say legal, but consider it as immoral acts. So another example is marital rape. So marital rape, it's moral yet it's illegal. Why? Anong illegal man ang kining marital rape? It is because so having sexual intercourse of both a couple, no, without the consent of a husband or wife, no, that is considered as illegal. That is a violation of a certain law, the violation against women. So that's considered as marital rape because against the will of the husband or wife, and that is illegal. But if it is uh, with consent, that is considered as legal. But di ba ang normally kung husband and wife having sexual intercourse is legal, but if it is against the will or against the consent of both couple, that is considered as illegal. The next one is other regulated behaviors. Next example such as fishing, logging. So when we say fishing, no, kung mangisda ka, it can be either legal or illegal. So in what way nga ma-consider ang fishing nga legal? So let's say kung nangisda ka but for food, no, para na lang kay masud-an, so we could say nga that is legal. But nangisda ka, then imo nang ibaligya, then you use illegal fishing, like you kanagamit ka og dynamite, no, para daghan ka og makuha, so that's illegal. But if you kung mangisda ka nya just for the food or just to earn a living, no, as long as dili siya illegal, so it's considered as legal. Then logging, no, kung putol ka og kahoy, so pwede na siya illegal, pwede po siya legal. Legal siya kung imong putol kag kahoy tapos imong ibaligya. But nagputol kag kahoy pero imo rang ito og balay, so it's considered as legal. So that's one of the example of the conflict of between moral and legal action. Next, we have the human acts. So unsa man yung human act? So actions that is performed only by a human being, and thus it is a proper to man. It is voluntary in character. So meaning naa siya action performed only by human. So tao ang mo-perform, and it is voluntary in character. So with your consent. The actions are the result of conscious knowledge and are subject to control of the will. So before you do a certain actions, no, the result of conscious knowledge and are the subject to control of the will. So pwede nimo control, no, if it's pwede na mo dili buhaton or pwede na nimo next na mo nga adlaw buhaton, di lang karon. So that's considered as human act, no, by means of actions. So let's next we have the kinds of human acts. So this is considered as the elicited acts. So these are those performed by the will and are not bodily externalized. So kini mga elicited acts, so wala dili na mo siya gi-perform sa imong body, no, not bodily externalized. So this acts is first kini gitawag wish. So wish is the tendency of the will towards something, whether this be realizable or not. So you perform it by means of your thoughts, no, wala gini mo siya gina-perform. So mayong ka nga, I wish that someday I will become a rich person. So you're just merely thinking, no? You decide by your own thoughts, so without action. That's wish. Next we have is the intention. Is the tendency of the will towards something attainable but without necessarily committing oneself to attain it. So intention. So let's say you have the intent to do uh, that things, no, uh, for your bright future. Let's say uh, yun ka nga, after 2 years, no, I will become a professional. No, you have the intention to do it. No, you're deciding by your own thoughts to, in order for you to attain it someday. So that's intention. So that's without the bodily externalize. Next we have consent. So it's the acceptance of the will of those needed to carry out the intention. So consent, you just to accept uh, of those needed to carry out the intention. So you just letting yourself, no, kung say, you permit to yourself to do certain things. That's consent. Then next we have the election. So it's the selection of the will of those effective enough to carry out the intention. So you think, you just think, say mas better nga imong decision. Just let's say for example na nakagipilian, no, or what is the better. So that's considered as elicited acts. The next is use. Is the command of the will to make use those means elected to carry out in the intention. Use. So it is also considered as not bodily externalized. Then next we have the fruition. Fruition is the enjoyment of the will derived from the attainment of these things he had desired earlier. So fruition is more on you enjoy, no, of after a lot of hard work, no, you enjoy the benefits of the sacrifice, no? So that is considered as the fruition, no? You harvest of you have what you have planted for how many years. So elicited acts, no, we discussed, no, that is considered as not bodily externalized. You decided it by your own thoughts and your own mind. So next we have the commanded acts. So commanded acts is this is mao na ni ang gitawag bodily externalized. You perform it by your body, by your own actions. So commanded acts are those done by either by man's mental or bodily powers under the command of the will. First is internal action. So kining internal action, example, conscious reasoning, recalling something, encouraging oneself, and controlling aroused emotions. So these are mental commanded acts. So this is based on your own thinking or your own mind. So gitawag siya internal action. Then next we have external actions. So example ani kining walking, no, you perform it by your own body, eating, dancing, laughing, listening, and reading. So these are bodily powers or externally done by your actions or your body. Then next we have combination of internal and external movements. So example, studying, driving a car, writing a letter, and playing chess. So these are combination of internal and external movements nga you, you think, you're thinking, then you perform it. So example na yung driving a car, so writing a letter. So these are considered as the commanded acts. Then moral distinctions. Classifications of actions according to the norms of the morality. So moral is good. So these are actions which are conformity with the norm of morality. So when we say moral, good yun na siya. Mga maayo nga buhat. In immoral, that is bad. These are actions which are not conformity with the norm of morality. So wala siya mo follow kung say standard of morality. Then amoral or indifferent. So these are actions which stand neutral in relation to the norm of morality. They are neither good or bad in themselves, but certain amoral actions may become good or bad because of the circumstances attendant to them. So immoral, it can be either good, pwede siya good, pwede po siya og bad. Then next we have the modifiers of human acts. So first is ignorance. So absence of knowledge which a person ought to possess. So human acts may be affected due to ignorance. So example, you don't have the knowledge of a law, certain law that you need to possess, you need to know. So your actions may be affected because of ignorance, no? So there is saying that ignorance of the law excuses no one. So even if you don't know that it is punishable by the law, even if you are ignorant, still you need to be punished because you need to possess, you need to know the law. So your actions may be affected, it's because of ignorance. Next we have passions. Now either tendencies toward desirable object, tendencies away from undesirable or harmful things. So passions, it can be either good or bad, no? But if you love what you are doing, if you love to do what is bad, that is your passion is considered as doing bad. But if your passion is doing good, then your actions may be still you love to do what is right and good. Then next we have fear. So fear is also a disturbance of the mind of a person who is confronted by an impending danger or harm to himself or loved ones. So human acts may be affected, it's because of fear. So nakikadlokan, so syempre ay mong action maapektuhan, it can be affected. Then next we have violence. So it refers to any physical force exerted on a person by another free agent for a purpose of compelling said person to act against his will. So human acts also may be affected, it's because of violence, no? So the word violence, so kung ibaw tong dunay violence, nor actions, it can be affected. Then next we have habits. So it is a lasting readiness and facility born of frequently repeated acts for acting certain manner. They are acquired inclinations towards something to be done. They assume the role of second nature, moving one who has them to perform certain acts with relative ease. So habits is also, it can be either bad habits or good habits. So if you do repeatedly bad habits, then your habit is bad. But if you do good habits, you repeatedly do good habit, then your habit is good. So certain action of a human, or what we call it, the human acts, also may be affected. It depends on the habits that you have. So that's it, the modifiers of human acts. So now let's proceed to the kinds of rights. First is the natural rights. human rights, civil rights, ecclesiastical or religious rights, alienable and unalienable rights, rights of jurisdiction, rights of property, juridical rights, and non-juridical rights. So these rights, we'll discuss it later one by one. Now first, the natural rights. So when we say natural rights, are those based on the natural law that is on human nature. So that's considered as the natural rights based sa natural law. Then next we have the human rights, are those based on human positive laws, either those enacted by state or religious sect. No, that's considered as human rights. Possible nga ang human rights nagbase na siya sa laws of our society, or it can be the laws of a state, no, or in the religious sectors, some of the religious sect. Then next we have civil rights. So are those dependent upon the laws of the state. So that's civil rights. No, the rights is based on upon the law of the state. That's considered as civil rights. Then ecclesiastical or religious rights are those dependent upon laws of the church or religious sect. So their basis is the law of the church or the religious sect. Then next we have the alienable and inalienable rights, are those civil or religious rights which can be surrendered, renounced, or removed, such as the right to decent livelihood. So their basis is they don't want to kanang di na sila magpabilin sa usa ka kana nga lugar or usa ka nga butang. So they want to renounce, no, ilang gitanggal or remove, such as the right to decent livelihood. Then next we have the right of jurisdiction. So it's the power of lawful authority to govern a subject and to make laws for them. So right of jurisdiction is you have the jurisdiction over, like let's say for example sa law, you have the jurisdiction to hear a particular case when you have the jurisdiction over the subject matter. Then next we have the right of property. So it's the power to own, to sell, to barter, to lend, to change, or give away one's personal possessions. So right of property. Then juridical rights refers to all rights insofar as they are based on laws. These rights must be respected, allowed, fulfilled as a matter of strict justice. So juridical rights. So next, lastly, the non-juridical rights are those which are founded on laws, either natural or human, but on virtue. Thus, these are also called moral rights. So, okay. Let's proceed to the definition of duty. First is objectively, duty, it is anything we are obliged to do or omit. So that we need to do it, no? That is our duty, objectively. Walay sige tawag anang dapat ika nga buhaton jud nimo, that you are obliged, no? Whether you like it or not, you do it. That is our duty objectively. Subjectively, it is a moral obligation incumbent upon a person doing, omitting, or avoiding something. So duty, so what is duty? Is a moral obligation because it depends upon the free will. As such, it resides on a person. Duty is defined by law. Any willful neglect of duty makes a person accountable for such act. So our duty is a moral obligation, our moral obligation. So we need to do our duty to follow what is moral, what is right. And you are accountable of such act, either good or bad. That is our duty. Then kinds of duties. First is the natural duties. So are those imposed by natural law, such as the duty to care for the earth. So that is our first duty, that as we heard in our news today, that climate change is becoming a big issue to the all nations. Now we need to take care of the earth. So one way to take care of earth is to keep our segregate our garbage, no, plant more trees to help our mother earth grow more trees in order to minimize floods, and to minimize the heat of the sun. So that is our natural duties. The next one is the positive duties, are those imposed by a human positive law, such as the duty to pay taxes and to observe traffic rules. So this is our positive duties. No. So as a person, no, as a good followers, especially if you're riding, now we need to observe traffic rules, and of course, uh, as natural citizen of our country, we need to pay taxes. Then affirmative duties are those which require the performance of a certain act, such as casting a ballot during election, applying for a business license. So that is considered as the affirmative duties. So next we have the negative duties, are those which require the omission of a certain act, such as not carrying illegal firearms or not destroying the property of others. So negative duties. Then what are values? So values is the term given those ideas, behaviors, and actions that are important to us. So kini values mo gini ang pinaka-importante sa usa ka tawo. The term values na it is ideas, na behavior and actions. No, if your actions or behavior is considered as good or bad, no. What else are those things worth fighting for and those things worth sacrificing for? They're what we hold most dear. Our values strongly influence our decision making and help determine whether we place our emphasis on our personal and professional lives. Values form the basis of our understanding of ethics. So basically, now the foundation of our ethics is our personal values. So this will matter kung sa klase nga pagkatao, if unsa pod depende pod unsa nimo ang imong values. So values is really important, no, to follow the ethical standards of our society. So societal values, first type of societal values is integrity. So the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. So honesty, so integrity, it's part of being honest. No, strong moral principle. Now, if you have the integrity, then you have your own good values and moral principles. So next we have honesty, is when you speak the truth and act truthfully. Then hard work, a great deal of effort to endurance, working intelligently and vigorously at a given task to complete it with maximum efficiency. You do your full potential, you do your best. That's hard work. Now next we have kindness, is defined as the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. So the ability to be kindness, no, that's very good values of a person. Then compassion, sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings of misfortune of others. So you have the compassion, or you have the sympathy towards others. Then next we have empathy, so the ability to understand the share of feelings of others. So as I've said, that empathy is like you are putting your your feet to the shoes of others, no, to the person concerned. That's the ability to empathize. You feel of what they feel. Then sympathy is shared feeling, usually sorrow, pity, and compassion for another person. So you sympathize, or it is almost the same with the compassion. You feel, uh, you uh, you feel also of you their sorrow, no? Then that's sympathy. Then next we have justice as the morally fair and right state of everything. To have justice as a person, character traits means that they are just and treat everyone the same, or how they would like to be treated. So that's justice. Now by justice, by giving fairness to everybody. So bravery, the quality of our state of having a showing mental or moral strength to face danger, fear or difficulty, courageous behavior, and character. Brave. So next we have the types of values. First we have the ethical or moral values. So a person who knows the difference between right and wrong and choose right is moral. If a person was morality is reflected in his willingness to do the right thing, even if it is hard or dangerous, it is ethical. Ethics are more values in action, manay ethical or moral values. Then doctrinal values is the codification of beliefs or a body of teaching or instructions, thought, principle or positions as the essence of teaching in a given branch of knowledge or in a belief system. So that's good. That is the doctrinal values. Then next is the ideological values. It's an adjective that describes political, cultural, or religious beliefs. Then social values are set of moral principles defined by society, dynamics, institution, tradition, and cultural beliefs. So next we have aesthetic values. Is the value that an object, event, or state of affair, most paradigmatically an artwork of the natural environment, possesses in the virtue of its capacity to elicit pleasure, positive value, or displeasure, negative value when appreciated or experienced aesthetically. So that's it. Thank you. We're done our discussion about the chapter 1, the ethics and values. So we will uh, discuss it after our examination, and I hope that in this video you will learn something new and interesting in this topic. So uh, in next video I will discuss about the what is virtue. So that's the serve as the continuation of the chapter 1. So that that is a short topic of the remaining topic of chapter 1. So thank you so much guys, and thank you for the support. No, so once again, so for those who are not subscriber here, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for you to be updated in our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for the support guys. Bye bye. God bless.